Welcome back. My name is Mark Anthony Dubose Jr. I was born July 4th, 1986. I want to say thank you for tuning in to today. I'm going to talk about these dogs. I'm going to talk about a very, very simple method on how to be able to get some stuff done with your dog to make it really understand what you're actually looking for. And a simple method, but it's probably going to be the hardest thing I think to deal with working with dogs. The simple method, I actually see like extreme results from it, especially when I talk to other people and convince them of just do this and watch how things are going to get much, much better, especially inside of your household. Not only just that in your house, but just in general with what it is that we're speaking to these dogs. We're always talking about like toys and treats and games and all this. But there's one thing that I think we're forgetting about that is, I believe, the most powerful thing to these dogs. And that's our touch. These hands. Not even just the hands, but like our body as well, but especially these hands. These hands are powerful. These hands are so powerful that they're explaining so much through our body language, which the dogs are understanding, not our language, our verbal language, but it's explaining so much about what it is that we're looking for from the dog. And there's interesting stuff that goes on because I got two dogs here right now that are the complete opposite when I touch them. When I touch this dog, she knows I go calm. Like she's just like, the only way she's gonna get touched is calm. And it's crazy that she can even be excited and I can touch her and she calms down. Because the only time I would refrain, this is the hardest part, people, is don't touch the dog when the dog is not in the state of being that you want the dog to be in. If you want your dog to be calm, don't touch it at all, period. If the dog is nervous, anxious, scared, worried, anything, depressed, don't touch the dog. The dog is super excited, crazy, rampage, wanting to run, don't touch the dog. When the dog is calm, hanging out, relaxed, chill, touch the dog. And when you keep doing that, the dog starts to understand this touch thing. And then what I want the dog to understand, especially in your households, because this is why I think a lot of y'all dogs in the house are crazy. Because they're running and then you're touching it. They're running and you're touching it. It's jumping on you and you're touching it. It's doing all this stuff and you're touching it. It's stealing your food and you're touching it. And you're touching it, touching it, touching it. And it's something that is just that is speaking a lot to that animal to say, hey, keep doing what you're doing. So when you're in that house and your dog is doing all that and you don't touch the dog is not getting the information of, oh, this is what you want. And then when I wait for the dog to be completely limp, just completely chill, just completely relaxed, now I can come in and I can touch that dog. I can touch that dog to say, this is what I'm looking for from you. This is what I want. This is where I want you to keep on staying. This is how I want you to just stay in. This is what I want. Because fascinating that before I dog training, I was doing horse training. And a horse trainer did something I mean, if you don't know, if you've seen it, you probably wouldn't know much about it. But just understanding animals, an incredible thing with all his horses across the board. They didn't go home until they knew this. You touch the horse stops. I don't care what the horse is doing. I don't even care if the horse is scared of something. You touch it and the horse knows, okay, we're good. And it would just hang out, just calm. So if you're like, I'm about to fall off, and then you just touch the horse is like, I got you. I'll stop for you. I'll balance myself for you. If you're on the reins and you're just like, I don't know what's going on, and you touch that horse, the horse it's gonna stop for you. If the horse just starts running and it's running faster than you are needing it to run, you just touch the horse and the horse just stops and it hangs out. And it's something that I think is very, very powerful with being able to get the animals to understand that our touch is calm. Our touch isn't crazy madness. Because then I got another dog. Oreo, come here. Come here. This is how majority of dogs look. Come here. You're right here, man. I know you're already here, but I want you here. This is how most dogs look. Now, when you put a hand on them, they start to just get extra. He'll probably even jump on me and do something extra here. Oreo. Anytime I touch this dog knows, let's go do something. And especially if I decide that I don't want to touch him anymore, he's like, let's keep going. Let's keep going. So what I have with this dog is in reality what most people have. And as crazy is, I wanted this dog to be this way. I like it. I don't care. He's not in the house. He's outside. He's a farm. He's a working dog. I don't care that if I touch him and we could just sit here for a half hour, literally just doing this and just have a good old time. But that's not what you're looking for more than likely inside of your home. That's why it's interesting that a lot of things that I do when I'm working with my dogs that I want them to do, I've realized and learned how to get them not to do because I just do the opposite of what it is that I'm doing. When I want my dog to be calm, I don't even, like, me straight up. Like, I'm pretty sure you saw, and I've even spoken in a couple of my videos about this Dalmatian here, that I purposely did not touch. I didn't touch this dog for months. I would in the house when she's laid out, hanging out, relaxed. And that's probably why every time we go in the house, the first thing she does is just lay down, relax, and just take a nap or just sit on the couch and just stare at me. That's the first thing she does because that is the only time I ever touched this dog for months. I pushed it as long as possible just to experiment and see. months I gave her no affection at all, especially outside, because I mean, even now, she can stand to me and look pretty for a little while, but she's on the move. And I wanted to really, really beat it in her brain of like, this touch means you just stop. You stop. Like literally, if you're going crazy wild, like she could be running and chasing. This is how in reality, I was just had a dilemma. That's why everyone was locked down for a second. A dilemma when they were moving the baby chick. Man, the grown chicks are easy, man. It's those baby chicks that just get the dogs. It's just I'm gonna be working on that probably for the rest of my life. It just is what it is. But when she's all excited, I could just literally recall her to me. I don't know why she still comes to me, but she comes to me and I just put a hand on her. And that's me saying to her, we're not doing that. I want you calm. She understands that language because I've been drilling that in her month after month after month. And that's where things can get sticky when you are doing it the opposite way, that you're touching the dog when it's excited and the dog knows to stay excited when you're touching the dog. Because then when you touch the dog, you grab the dog, you put the leash on the dog, you do something to the dog, all you're doing is saying to the dog, keep doing what you're doing. Next time when I let you off, keep pushing, keep going at a rampage. As opposed to when she's acting, I mean, it's fascinating. I'm gonna have to get her in a very sticky situation so that I could just show this. But she could be like looking at something and going wild on leash, and I could just pet her, and she just chills out. She just relaxes, because that's what I've got her to understand. How this is the main thing that I think we're struggling with dogs, people. You are the main prize show supreme being to these dogs. We are the greatest things. It's not the outside what I have. It is me. It is us. Granted, we can get stuff like flirt poles and toys and things like that to play with the dog, but it's what we do with the dogs. And that's what brings your bond to be like no one's messing with your dog, and your dog is with you because of us, who we are. And our hands and our everything is just the most powerful thing. We should be taking all advantage of that and to be able to get our dogs to understand what it is that we're looking for. And what I've just realized is when I just really, really refrain from touching the dog, when it's excited, when it's scared, when it's nervous, when it's anything but straight up like I'm about to sleep calm, I realize that I just keep that dog in that. And that's where things get complicated, that I noticed that a lot of y'all are just struggling with this. Oh my God, my dog's reactive and my dog is going crazy. My dog is barking at everybody. It's because everything that we're doing is explaining to that dog to continue to keep doing that, as opposed to telling a dog, I don't want that anymore. So when you're actually saying to the dog, keep doing that, the dog is going to want to keep doing that. I don't care how much you don't want it, but everything that we are doing to the dog is saying to do that. And we have to get that out of the dog. And or if the dog is doing craziness, we have to exercise that dog. We have to work that dog out. We have to enrich that dog's life. We have to give that dog something to look forward to that we are going to do with them, not for them to go out and figure out how to do on their own. And that's where I'm struggling right now, is I haven't been running. I don't even know where these dogs are anymore. I haven't been running the Dalmatian, just kind of in a experiment to see like how much does it really take. I just playing with the flirt pole with her like every 3 days or so. I can't do it every day with the border collie because he can't. I don't know why, but he just seriously he can't keep up with that workload. He can only do so much, but he goes all out at it. It's pretty fun. But I've only been doing it like every 3 days, sometimes every other day, just to see like what does it actually truly take to keep this dog calm. Outside, she'd be running a little bit, but in the house, she is still dead calm. She is just still hanging out without me taking on 10-mile and 6+ mile runs every single day with her. And I just kind of experimented to see what's going on here. But the biggest thing is I've realized is being able to, she knows that she's going to get something. And that's what's going to calm the dogs down, knowing that something is going to come if she does. If she goes back to jumping on the, it was jumping on the coffee table that always got me. If she goes back to doing that, it's like, okay, I'm clearly not giving her enough exercise. I need to get back into that. I'm not going to think that my dog is just going to be calm from nothingness and doing nothing at all with the dog. I have to exercise the dog. I have to give the dog something. I have to let them sniff and search something. I have to let them to do something. I have to let them run. I have to let them chase. I have to let them get into something. And then in the middle of just giving them that part of their life, it's the other part of our lives that we need to be very careful of what information we're explaining to that dog. Because if the dog lunges off, goes off, and you're pulling that leash back and you grab the collar or you grab something or you put hands on that dog, you're saying to let's do that. But if you're training the dog instead, teaching the dog, showing the dog that your touch is a sense of calmness, your dog is now going to have a flip of its brain of saying, oh, okay, you clearly don't want that because this means that we're going to hang out. We're just going to sit down and we're going to relax. And that's what I want the dogs to really just understand. And it is not easy. It is not easy. It is so simple, but it's not easy because your dog is in the house and it's looking at you, it's hounding you, it's probably even jumping on you, it's doing the madness, it's doing the most because, and more than likely, that's what it's used to. That's what it's used to doing that with you, and that's just what's normal. But you got to change that. So when your dog is doing the most and acting crazy and acting wild, you're just like, I don't have hands, man. I got 2 hands amputated. I don't have arms anymore. You got to refrain from touching that dog. Refrain from doing anything with that dog. So that dog knows that that's not what I'm looking for. Don't worry about no treats. Don't worry about no toys. I'm telling you, that's outside. You are the main thing that it should just be focused on working with the dog. Is you and your hands. Because it's not like we had treats and toys, guys, like hundreds and thousands of years ago. We had us. We may have food to give them a little extra food scraps, but I mean, just 100 years ago, we weren't just, we struggling today. Some people struggling today, I'm going to say, on the prices of things, and some people ain't eating all that great. But 100 years ago, we was like everything we saving, man. We cooked the cook, we ate it all. That's why I know a lot of y'all, especially me growing up, that we eat it all. I don't care if you full, you eat it all. You eat everything. That's that mentality behind us. So it's not like we were just giving treats and toys and everything to these dogs all day long. It was like, heck no, we're giving a dog just enough to survive. We're not going over and above. So how did we be able to communicate effectively what it is that we want with them? And that's what I want everyone to understand is just you. Pay attention to the habits of what you're doing. When the dog is doing anything that you don't want, the dog is nervous about something, scared about something. Your dog is the main thing that is a key trigger is excitable. Excitability is confusing to a lot of people and what it actually looks like and what it actually all is. The Oreo, the excitability is the part that really gets, you're not sure because your dog is like barking and lunging and doing stuff and it could be like out of fear, but let's just, I don't want to say this, but I'm going to say this. Let's just assume that it's excitability. So that if you can get that excitability out, that everything else will just disappear. Because fear can look like excited, Oreo. Fear can look like, I know, you want to do your work, but you do it later. I got you. Give me a moment. Oh, that's probably why he can't work that much when I play with him, because he does that every day, moving the baby chicks in every day. So he is already doing what it is that he needs to do. I think I'm using his brain power too much each day. Because some days we're playing with the flirt pole, he's done in like 5 minutes, and I'm like, dang, dude, we just started. Like, let's go, let's have some fun. And he had fun, and he's looking good, but I'm like, I might be overworking my dog right now. Unfortunately, I gotta pay attention to that. I need another border collie. But paying attention to the state of being that dog is in. So when that dog is excited, just assume that it's excited. And don't touch it. Wait till the dog is calm. When the dog is calm, then I can touch that dog. This is where it's beautiful to start it inside of the home because you don't have too much stuff going on where you could be unsure because there's not too much inside of the home that your dog is, for one, scared of, because you do not want to touch the dog when the dog is scared. You do not want to touch them. That's like the number one thing that I think is just failing people with dogs is you're touching them when they're scared. When the dog is nervous, when the dog is fearful, when the dog is in this I don't know stage, when I don't know what's going on, just leave the dog alone so the dog knows that we don't want to double down into that. Because all it does is says to the dog that, hey, you are just as scared as me. So let's stay in this and let's continue to keep doing this. And we want to get out of that. But the main thing that I see that can really just fast track a lot of just chaos that's going on in your life is explaining to that dog that your touch is relaxed. Like I think Border Collie is the only one that understands that when I touch him, it's time to go. Because I use that, straight up, I use that as a way to like get some extra stuff done. You know, I gotta like, sometimes he's like I said, if he's tired, I gotta motivate the dude to like, let's go do something. So I'm like, yeah, let's go. I go crazy with the dude. But that's what we do. And then we think it's fun and it's cute. And we do that with the puppy right away. Yeah, woohoo, woohoo. We're doing all this. We're touching the dog. And what do you think that dog is learning from you? That touch means let's go on a rampage. That the touch, sorry, Johnny. That when you pulling on the leash on the collar, you're pulling on the harness, that means like, let's keep activating, let's go, as opposed to meaning the opposite, let's get out of that. We want to teach the dogs to get out of any kind of pressure that's put on their body. Any form that we're putting something on, where we're putting hands on, we're putting leash on, putting collar on, if it gets tight, the dog should know tightness, calm. Oh, let me just stop what I'm doing. And that's how you're able to get the dogs to just stop doing anything, and at the same time, loose leash, dang near, he'll walk with you when you're going on a walk. because the leash is going to get tight and the dog is going to automatically know pressure upon my body means that I should just stop everything I'm doing, relax, just get some pets, hang out, chill, be calm. We're not doing any work. Don't need to guard anything. I don't need to protect anything. I don't need to do anything. I just need to just be here. And I'm going to be here and just be able to relax and just be able to enjoy where it is that I'm at. It's the little things that we can do every single day to get the dogs to just be in a much, much, much better place. The little things every day. And the little things are, in reality, all that really matters. If you're looking for that like big, huge, like, I just gotta, if I do this, then everything's gonna transform overnight. That's not reality. Reality is it's the little things that we keep doing. Ophi, Johnny. Yeah, I see you. Come here. Out. Come here. I don't know how these dogs like drop stuff every time I say it, but I'm slightly impressed with that. I guess it's those little things that I do every single day that when they pick something up that I'm not looking for, then I can go ahead and say a simple word to them and they're just like, oh, okay, I'll drop it. Now I still don't understand why they would drop it for me, knowing that dude got a baby chick in his mouth right now. Like, why would he just drop it? That's an incredible thing that I just realized when I just keep on working with these dogs, that it's the small little things that I keep doing every day that create something that's just like, wow, this is pretty neat. This is really nice now. And it's those small, tiny things that I'm just constantly working on to be able to communicate better with an animal. You know, it's, let me say this. Maybe decades ago, it was easier. Oh, Johnny, I know what you're doing, man. I'm playing 5D chess on you. You just playing chess with me. Oh, you can get down. You good? No, you get down too. Everybody get down. Johnny, you get down. I'm thinking too much right now. Y'all got me thinking too much and looking too much, so we all on lockdown right now again. Sorry, I gotta simplify my life. And again, it's the simple small things that I just keep doing each day to get into a good place and realize that I don't want it overnight. I want it a little bit better today, a little bit better today, and one day it might just be chaos. It's just something simple as what was that? Yes, yesterday video. I'm just out here and the dogs have been doing good until today. I just probably shoot myself by saying, hey, things are looking good. That now today I turned the camera on and the dogs are just doing what they're doing. But I don't care. I'm not gonna, or I'll put them in a downstate because I'm just saying this is what I'm looking for to say simplify my life. But I'm not expecting it to like so perfect every day. There's gonna be a day that it's just like, what's going on? Tomorrow I turn camera on, I don't care what's out here. There could be a bear, hopefully not, but a bear could come here and the dogs would just be like, we're good, everything is fine. But today we were doing so good, like almost to the thing of perfection good. And then there's just a slip up. And then we just go back to being good, good, good. I want the little things every single day. It's the little stuff every day that gets us to be able to get into a good place. And it's the little things of me just being conscious of what it is that I'm doing day to day. And the one thing that I know to be very conscious of is touching the dogs. Every time I touch the dog, I want the dog to know it's time to stop. It's time to relax. It's time to be calm. It's time to not do anything. We don't need to do anything at all right now. We're just gonna be here right now. We're not playing no games. We're not doing it. When there's no hoopla happening, nothing going on. We're relaxing. We're doing what you see dogs doing right now, hanging out. We're done. We're done. I know you wanted to this, but we're done. I'm telling you, we're done. I'm taking that leadership position of saying we're done. We're not doing that right now. And I need to stay firm with that and make it clear for them to understand what it is to want to be able to follow me. Because confusion in a dog, that's the number one way to really, really get your dog to be an extreme hot mess, is to have confusion in working with the dog. And I want to be clear. And being clear is doing something that is so simple, of making sure that you're explaining exactly what it is that you're looking for with the dog. That when you are in a stance that you want the dogs to be calm, make sure you touch the dogs when they're calm. Don't touch them when they're excited. And when you want the dogs to be excited, do something to let the dogs know, because this is the part where having a pet dog, this is where for my Dalmatian, it works. And I like it because she knows that she can't, I mean, she'll move the little baby chicks around, but she doesn't go full pursuit chase. The only time she can is when she's got a harness on. And the only time she has a harness on is reality. It's not on this property. It's when we're out doing what we're doing. And she's always hooked up to me and she knows that she can run and do what she needs to do. So that's why when you want to exercise the dog, I even suggest that when you play with the flirt pole, you play with the cars, you do anything, put something unique on the dog. So the dog knows now is the time that we are going to do that. But and when it's not on, we're not doing this. We're not going to do that right now. We're just going to hang out right this moment. So the dogs can understand the differences of what's going on. When you're touching the dog knows, okay, we're calm, we're chill. When you put this collar on the dog knows, okay, let's go do something, man. Let's go run, let's go chase. There's freedom at this moment. You could do what you want to do. There's no limitations. You're free game to just run and do what I want you to do. Chase this pole, chase this, do whatever you do. And then when you're done with that, you could take the collar off, you could touch the dog, and the dog knows, okay, we're done with that now. Now we're finished. We're not doing that anymore. And then the dog is very, very clear information explained to the dog. Because like in the house, when you want the dog to calm down, you're sitting there petting the dog, and the dog is ramping up, petting the dog, ramping up, and then you get, stop, and then you start to get all this hostility come out of you. And that hostility is what is going to confuse the all heck and be out of the dogs. Whereas just like this dog, when I get all like that, what does he do? He gets excited because it's just what he's primed all his life off to do. And that's something that I'm going to challenge my own self with, is taking my almost, no, he's about to be 6, 7, 6, he's about to be 6. My 6-year-old dog that every time I touch him, he knows that it's party time. Then I'm going to see if I can switch that and see. I already know it takes a lot to really change it really good. But to see, like, how long is it really going to take and how much is it really going to be for me to get this dog here to understand that when I touch you, we're actually calm. To switch that in his brain. Because that's where things get a little more complicated when, Oreo, you quick to every time I give you some pets, you just take off. I feel you. Get down. Ophi, you come back and lay down too. You starting to join along with the crew. I appreciate you. You're like, I'm part of the family now. You sure are part of the family now. You do everything that we all do. We all hang out together. She's starting to understand so much. It's just so incredible. And I think that's because it's just based on me being very clear of what my expectations are. I don't care what you're doing. If you come to me, you get pets. I don't care what she's doing. I don't care if she's just killed, eat, and demolish something. If you come back to me when I call you, you get pets. And that makes her always want to keep coming back to me. And that'll be a video for another day. But that is probably harder than not petting the dogs and doing that to the dogs, because they're going to do something that's going to get in you, man. It's going to get in you. And to have that dog come back and you to just like get all that energy out of you and be calm and show that dog like, it's okay, whatever. That's hard. That takes experience. But if you can't even just simply sit in your house and not pet your dog when it's excited, don't even worry about that part of it yet. But there's just little things that I've noticed to be able to get the dogs to just, oh, that's the best way of saying it, what everyone's looking for, to listen to me. How do I get my dog to listen to me? By being clear to the dog what it is that we want and what it is that we're saying. Because a lot of what we're saying is so confusing to the point that even another human is not understanding and not sure what it is that we're doing here. But we want to be so clear that it's just so basic that it's easy. Simple. May not be easy, but easy after you do it for a while. Because it's easy for me today to know what to touch and how to touch. I know never to touch this dog in the house if she's doing anything. I know to just leave her alone. Like I got pretty good and pretty clever with like moving my body around to say like, don't, you're not doing this. We're not doing this right now. And she understands it. And the more that I keep doing that month after month, the more that she just really truly understands. That's it. I'm gonna have to get a video when she's doing something that I could just start petting her, and she knows, okay, we're done. Same with this dog here, but Johnny, man, he understands that too. Cause this dude, he's cool with me because I give him a chance to run and do what he does every day. But he's so calm all the time, anyways. So every time I touch him, he's pretty much always calm. I rarely see this dog like excited, and if he's excited, he's just like running so fast so far that I'm not really anywhere around him. And he's always calm. So when I touch this dog, he just knows we're just calm. We're just hanging out. Because more than likely, if I touch him, he gets to rolling over. He just gets to hanging out. He's like, I could deal with this all day long right here. This is just what he does. Oreo, get down. You see a huge difference right there. I touch him, we're calm. What does he want to do? Oh, we're getting touched. We're getting pets. And he builds and builds and builds. And that's the opposite of what probably 99.9% of people are looking for inside of your home. You're looking for, when you touch the dog, it just does that. It's just like, oh, we're just hanging out. And it's so easy to be able to get him to understand that. But it's simple, but it may not be so easy. And that's what I want a lot of people to just really think about, what it is that you're doing on a day-to-day, what communication that you're actually giving to your dogs. Because more likely the communication that you're giving to the dog is the opposite of what you're wanting to do. And that's why you are seeing the opposite of what you're actually thinking you're doing. Because your actions are just doing stuff that you're not actually like really thinking about what's going on. And the number one thing is, don't touch the dog when it's fearful. Please just don't do it. Just 100% ignore a fearful dog. Keep it on leash with you and just be with the dog. Just ignore the all can be out of the dog. Don't even focus. Don't worry about that dog at all. Period. And when the dog is excited, go that same route. Ignore the dog. Just I don't even see a dog in the house. I don't even know where the dog is at. I don't know what's going on with the dog. Don't lock it up. Don't put it in no crate. Don't put it in a room. But be with the dog and do your absolute. And if the dog is just hounding you, that's where you can use a leash to like push, like get the heck off me, man. And the dog will finally just calm down. When he calms down, it might take 15 minutes. And 15 minutes when a dog is doing the most feels like 8 hours. And in 15 minutes, you can go ahead and now I can pet this dog. But for me personally, I don't like petting the dog in the house until it literally looks like this. Laying over, all four hanging out, just completely chill, completely laid out. And I pretty much 100% of the time see a dog like this if they're awake. If he's asleep, I please leave the dog alone if he's asleep. But if he's awake and he's laying there like this, I 100% of the time come down and say, hey, this is what I want. This is a good boy. This is a good boy. And I say it and do it just like that. That's a good boy. And that's how I do it with the Dalmatian. That's a good girl. That's a good girl. I like this. This is a good girl. Every time I see them in that state, and that convinces them to want to stay in that state. And that's the part where, again, things get complicated with the dog stuff, that they're going to get addicted to something. But you're going to want the dog to be addicted to something that is going to be helpful and useful. I don't want my dog to be addicted to be exciting. I want my dog to be addicted to be calm. And when a dog is addicted to be calm, the dog is going to want to do everything in its power to get calm. And in my personal and professional opinion, I believe that all animals, everything, all species wants to figure out how to be able to get to that stance of calm. They want to be in a state of calm. Everything wants to be calm. Nothing wants to be fighting and in battles and worried and nervous and confused. Everything wants to be calm. And being addicted to being calm is something that even attracts more and more people to want to stay in that calm. And when you stay in that calm, it's weird at first. It's very foreign. That's why a lot of dogs look strange when you first finally get them to be in a calm stance. That they're weird. They don't know what to do because it's not used to that. But then after time, the dog starts to get addicted to that calmness. Your dog goes in the house and it just lays down. It's like, okay, this is what we're doing. Because anyone can say to me, you know, people always, oh, your dogs aren't high energy. You got me on this one. He's not a high energy dog. He's always been, not always. He's been pretty easy to keep in the house. But I also have other dogs that, especially, oh my goodness, I don't know what is that Dalmatian. She's done the most overall of the dogs that I've ever had in the home. It's the coffee tail. I can't get it. She be jumping on everything. She will jump on the countertops. She got hops, man. She could jump. She'll jump on the stove. She'd just on everything. She's jumping on the top of the back of the couch. She's jumping on the bed, running, doing, just jumping and in everything. And if I had window sills, she'd be in those. If I don't care what it is, she is like on doing the most. And I can convince that dog that is just doing the most. And then now recently just experimenting on not exercising her a fraction what I used to. And seeing that she still maintains that in the house because of the little bit that she gets, the little chase that she gets to do. She's super calm in the house because I've told her from day one, this is what my expectations are. This is what I want. I'll say is rewarded her by touching her, by saying, when you're calm, you get my affection. When you're not, I don't know who you are. You can sit over there. I don't care what you're doing. You're not next to me. And for me, it's just, I fast-tracked in the house because I did use the crate for, like, I think the first week I got her. But then I didn't know, 2 weeks. I didn't like it. It just, I don't know. I don't know how to say this. It's the opposite of what I say about the dog doesn't need practice being off leash to be a good dog off leash. But I believe that the dog needs practice being outside of a crate in a home to be a dog that's going to be good inside of a home outside of a crate. Because the dog needs to experience like it all. So my fast track with that was keep the dog on the leash. I had her on leash in the house, like for at least a straight month. Every time I'm in the home, I had her on leash. And most time I didn't have to hold it after like the first couple of days because she already just understood. We're just hanging out. And then she would hang out, I'll just pet the dog. But I made a very, very conscious, very, very just paid so close attention to every little thing that I did that I waited 100% until she was laying down to be able to give her pets. And even now, still, when I see that she's excitable, I don't touch her. I don't touch her. Because when she runs to me and I call her to come back to me, Ophi, yeah, come here. When she comes back to me and not in this like this rampage. My border collie does. She doesn't come to me in a rampage. So when she comes to me, she's in this. Come here, girl. You right there. I don't know what it is. I think it's him that's teaching her that. Ophi, come here. That come here doesn't mean to like come here. It just means to come here. because I told him that I couldn't stand that when I would call my dog that they're just like on me. I just want them to be near me. But then there's some things that I got to realize that I'd rather them just come to me now the more that I keep thinking about it. But when she's next to me, she's with me, she's not like overly excited. She's not excited. She's not crazy. She's not wild. And even you see, I start touching her, the tail stops wagging so much. She starts to just relax down, relax down. And he, of course, is going to mess it up here in a little bit because he's just, Oreo, he extra. He think he getting the pets was I'm petting something else. He's like, what about me? What's going on? But she knows that when she comes to me, even it's not like this crazy madness. It's just everything is calm across the board, and I've been able to get that by seriously just refraining from touching a dog. And as simple as that is, it's going to be probably one of the most challenging things you're going to have to work on with the dog. But it's so simple. It's so basic. I've done this with not only just mine, but I've explained this to other people, and I don't know why it just works. Why it works, I think it's because we are abusing ourselves, our number one tool, our number one asset, our number one resource to the dogs is our personal touch, our personal affection. We're just giving it away for free for nothing. We're not paying attention to like what we're doing. We're just you could just take all of me. I don't care. Just abuse me however you want. But once we start to use it as a aid to be able to communicate effectively to the dog, things start to just get fast and easy because the dog clearly understands what it is that we want. Because any of these dogs, I don't care. Johnny's kind of like the horse. That you touch him and he just stops. He just stops. He just hangs out. He's like, oh, we're here. I can literally go walk down the driveway and he comes next to me and I can put a hand on him and he just stops because he knows we're about to get some pets right now. We're not doing anything, and that makes like life so easy. Because then if you give it months and then your dog is in a situation where it's out in public and it starts to get all excitable, you literally could just pet your dog to calm your dog down. As opposed to what's going on now is the dog is excitable and you pet the dog and it keeps the dog to get more excitable. How beneficial is that to be able to be a good tool that you don't need nothing but just a human being? And it's unfortunate if you don't have arms right now, but I'm telling you, you can still use your body. You can still use something. You can still touch them. You can booty bump. You can do anything. Any of that touch to the dog is teaching them something. And it's something that is just, I've just seen it to be extremely, extremely powerful, especially seeing a complete difference between one that I touch that gets excited and one that I touch that just knows to calm. And seeing both of them side by side and seeing the power behind it, that it's not some just gimmick that I'm just saying. And it's just something that I just, whatever, it may work. No, I see extreme results from it. Way more than worrying about leash training the dogs. I worry about what it is that I'm doing and what that dog is doing when I'm touching it. Thank you. Hi. She still got a little bit of that jump in her. See, the problem is him. That's why I'm going to work on him because I want, he might have to get retired soon, probably like in another year or two, unfortunately. So I got to get another border collie here, like probably in a year. I'll probably get a puppy next year. I don't have a choice. I have to have one. I need that. I can't go without that. But I want him to be able to help me with working with more dogs, of explaining all these little things. Because when he's not around, Johnny explains more. But when he's around, he's the boss man. He's just the boss man out here. He's a kind boss man. He's not like ruthless and mean and a dictator. But he's definitely what I do, we all can do. It is okay. So I want to change him a little bit of what we used to do, to just explain to him that when we touch, it's calm. So that if I'm on the patio and I got a new dog around, that I could pet him, then they could see what's going on here. They're like, hey, if I lay and be pretty, maybe I'll get pets too. Because that's how Johnny and the big, I don't know which you are, Johnny. We're going to have to do a DNA one day. But this dude here and the Dalmatian, because in the house, these two are together. And he's already showing her, hey, if you just be calm, you're going to get what it is that you're looking for. So now I got to switch it to outside stance of what's going on. Because when the border collie is not around, everything is much different. It's much different. He brings this high level of energy, but it's not like destructive. That's why I don't care. But I also want to be able to just test out my own skills, I guess I can say, of changing some things. Like he used to go wild in the car when we go for rides. He's done that since like forever. And then I got the van and I was like, I don't want you to be that wild no more. And it's been exciting. Exciting is a word. To be able to convince him to like, we're just going to calm down a little bit in the van. We're not like on this just everywhere running and going crazy mode. And it's been interesting to see what it takes to change from what we used to do something new, because that's the main problem that people are having. You know, when you get your puppy and you do all of what I talk about right away up front, you're gonna have a pretty nice dog. But the hard part is when you have a 2, 3, 4, 5-year-old dog already and it's been doing something and you want to change it now, that's where, when I say it's simple for a puppy to do this. But that's no longer when it's so no, simple is there, but easy is no longer that easy. It's gonna be challenging. It's gonna be work, man. It is. And that's what I want to put my own self through, that own experience, to be able to see what it actually takes and what you're gonna go through. Because it's gonna be a lot, because the dog knows you and it's been doing a thing a certain way this whole time. Now you want to change it? Get like I'm telling you, just dig deep, please, and work through. Just give it some months. Give me 3 to 4 months of just working hard at making new habits here. And then you're going to see something absolutely incredible, because the dog already had and came from what it was. Because when I used to, I mean, all the dogs that I had, I transformed them to understand what it is I'm looking for. It's not like they just came and they're perfect. I got all kinds of videos of my dogs looking like a mess. I got this Dalmatian looking like a mess. But at this moment now, she's no longer that way because of the small little things that I do. But she already had something from where she was. So I have to like change her from what she was doing to put her into something new that I'm looking for now. And that's not easy. It's not easy. But it's simple, but it's just not easy. But we just keep working at it, and don't give up. Keep working at it. And the biggest thing is we need to look to help and work the dog. And then a dog will be able to work and help us. It's us that need to change what we're doing. And then a dog will just follow along. Like, oh, that's all you wanted? That was simple. Why don't you just tell me that? That's literally like the language that I see when the dogs are like looking at me with when the aha moment finally kicks in. They're like, oh, that's what you wanted? I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, I could have been done that, but you just weren't clear. So then everything is so simple. And that's gonna come along with this dog. Once I start working on to being calm, and it's just this is gonna be it's gonna be a good challenge for me, because I don't ever see this dog calm. He's never calm. He's always like doing what he's doing. But I'm more like I created that. That I would come. This dude, I never see the dog sleep. Never seen him sleep. I've never seen him just like laying and hanging out. He's always doing something. Like here, he just laid down, but he's like chewing on. He's always doing something. So it's going to be hard in reality, and I'm just going to put that upon myself to figure out how to do this. But it's something that we gotta just get it done. And when we get it done, we're going to finally see something absolutely amazing that you're actually looking for, to be able to have very clear communication. Because these dogs, I'm telling you, they are so simple. But for one, we're misusing our ultimate gift to these dogs is our hands and our feet and our body and our head and everything. We're misusing it. If we use it correctly, we're going to see something absolutely amazing.